Catherine, and welcome to my hillside garden. We're going to work a little bit on getting the gutter garden ready to plant. As I said, I put mostly lettuce in here. I will put some flowers or something on the top once the weather gets too warm. The lettuce tends to not like. I've also found that if I don't keep this worked with, especially in the spring, the birds tend to like to make their nests in it, which I really don't want them to do. So I think by them seeing me working here, it lets them know that this is a spot they're not going to want to put their nests in. This gutter garden was put together with two sections of gutter, rain gutter. It's a metal rain gutter, and you take and put these end caps on, so that way, of course, the soil and everything doesn't run out of them. And you supplement every year. You could change the soil out if you wanted to. I have done that in the past, where I have taken the soil out and put it into the garden and replenished with new soil. But this year I'm just going to be taking some mushroom compost and adding it in, and then I'll get to planting some of my lettuce starts. So the gutter garden was put together using two sections of gutter, and then end caps were put on. This way, of course, it keeps the soil in there. And my husband made this frame bracket, and I painted it with exterior white to help reflect some of the sunlight. This is on the south portion of the house, so it does get a good deal of sunlight, and as the summer goes on, we put this shade down because the western sun hits this pretty good. And we painted the bracket, and each gutter is just tilted slightly. This one tilts to the right, and there's a drain hole here, so it will drip into this one. And then this one is tilted a little bit to the left, and there's a drain hole here. So each one will drain into the other if there's overflow, and then I have a pot at the bottom to catch anything that goes into there. But each year I just kind of top off whatever's in here. This year I'm going to use some nice mushroom compost I got from our local Agway, and I'm going to start to put my lettuce starts in here. We crop a lot of lettuce all year long, except for in the middle of winter. We're still figuring that out. And that's about it for now. I've decided I'm going to take out some of the soil that's already in this gutter and move it up top, because it seems as if this could use some more. So I'll just move it up, because as I said, I don't tend to plant lettuce all through the season in this top bed, because it does get a little bit too much sunlight. So just transfer that up here. Fill that up nicely, and that way I'll leave a little bit of extra room for me to put mushroom compost into this one. Springtime is the busiest time of any gardener, or any gardener, I think. We're all so excited after being inside for much of the winter. But it's just so nice to smell the fresh soil and get your hands in it, even if you have gloves on. now since I have some of this dug out, just mix it up a tiny bit, and then before I put the mushroom compost on the top, I'm going to put a little bit of organic fertilizers. I make up a mix just so that, because this is a container, I like to put a little bit of fertilizer in there. I have a little bit of blood fish and bone, some crab shell. I get that at a Ferry Morris Agway in New Jersey, near where my New Jersey garden is. And there's also eggshells in here, and a little bit of organic tomato fertilizer, I believe it is. Okay, this is one flat of lettuce and spinach seedlings that I started in the house. And one thing that I need to get a little better at is putting dates on things. I believe I sowed these at the end of January, and these will be the items that will go into the gutter garden today. And the last thing we're going to do today in the gutter garden, I got some gourmet baby greens, lettuce, mesclun mix, and I'm going to put them in this tray and begin to grow them. I like to try to succession plant. This way, what I've planted today I'll be harvesting first, and then hopefully in a few weeks I'll be harvesting from each one of these as the season goes on. This mix contains black-seeded Simpson, butter crunch, green salad bowl, Lola Rosa, red oak leaf, and rouge de vert. Sorry for the pronunciation. So since I'm going to be using these as more of a cut and come again, or as a baby green, I will overseed. I don't know exactly what I'm going to get. Usually Botanical Interests has a very good germination rate with their seeds. So I'm just sprinkling a pinch, and that way we'll have nice salads in a few weeks. And that's what we want. We want to eat our own homegrown food. And then, I don't have my gloves on. I try to keep my gloves on, I don't always, because I like to get my hands dirty. And then they're horrible to clean, but that's okay. And there we go. And then the last thing we're going to do is water. The soil is already wet to a degree, so I'm just going to be wetting the top to be sure the seeds get the moisture they need to sprout. And I see a couple I could probably poke in, but just as nature does, sometimes they sit on the top and they grow anyway. So that's all the water I'm going to give them, and we'll come back in a couple weeks and see how they're doing.